I applied in different BPO companies, but just like maybe any other or just like many of us, I experienced rejections too, failures. People think that in ESL, it's just about teaching English. Definitely not. It's about understanding your students, what they need. It's not like at school we discuss grammar, we let them read. It all depends on the students sometimes.
Many trainings, you really equipped me, and I owe you a lot.
On my schooling, I'm also writing especially lesson plans. So it's also in English. Another hat as an advocate, I'm dealing with foreign and local people to promote our advocacies or to sell our initiatives for them to support us. Using the English language has been a part of my daily routine.
ESL means English as a second language. So this means that the students are non-native English speakers. They are, for example, Koreans, Japanese, and they don't really speak English like us Filipinos. Companies have been requiring them to use English, and even schools. That's why they call it ESL. It becomes their second language.
It is important for the visually impaired because nowadays it's really hard to find jobs even without the pandemic. If you are visually impaired, you will have a lot of limitations. Even if you say you can do it, but employers might be doubtful to accept you as their employee. So ESL can be helpful. It is also an advantage for the visually impaired because they can just work at home, online.
Despite the limitations I have, I am willing to learn, and I decided I wanted to share this information with others, especially with my fellow blind friends or those who are in need of this training. And then the pandemic came. I have seen some of my blind friends or some visually impaired friends who lost their job. My husband and I decided to conduct training that was for free until RBI asked me to conduct the ESL training with the sponsorship of ICVI. I know this is very important because it prepares the visually impaired to compete with others, especially these days. It has become more and more competitive, even more competitive than before. So I wanted them to experience this training so that when they apply for this job and when they get the chance to be interviewed, they can say, although I don't have the experience, I have the training. And when they start the job, they can confidently start. Unlike me before, I had no confidence at all because I didn't know what to do. We handle different students, Japanese, Korean, so I tried to explain the culture of every nationality or every country. I asked them to do a demo teaching. That's like their exam. After their demo, I explain to them what they lack. I tell them their strength. I also taught them a bit of American accent, and I also gave them some job interview tips because I am working as an HR manager, so somehow I have the background when they ask questions in ESL.
All the lessons, all the tips coming from there, the pronunciation tips, the ESL class tips, all those things that I got from the trainings that I had were really paid off and really got me to this point. I get compliments from my students most of the times. They always thank me, and even just a simple thank you is very, very much fulfilling to me. All thanks to the things that I got from this ESL training.
I love communicating to different people. I love sharing and also learning from them. So I think becoming an ESL coach can help me learn a lot about things in the different countries. So in that way, I think I just cannot help them learn English, but also they can help me learn things from them.
When a visually impaired becomes an ESL teacher, everything becomes equal. This is in my opinion. I don't know if others would agree, but as I mentioned, I am working as an ESL teacher and an HR manager, and my boss asks me to do things if I can. Of course, he confirms if I can. So I love this job because it lets us practice equality.
I want to break the stereotype, the typical stereotype about blind people. Blind and visually impaired people, they're only capable of doing massage or as a massage therapist. Only few do realize that blind people can also do teaching, can also do IT or computer programming or even psychology. I want to be one of those catalysts of change. I want to let the people realize that there are more things that a blind person can do. What I want the companies to realize is that give us a chance, give us a room to grow and to help the company and to help people through online English teaching.